Hi, everybody. Recruiting Animal here on February 7th, 2024. Two superstars are here already before the show started. It's like a miracle. I was going to use an expletive deleted there. There's so much swearing around that I almost can't avoid it myself. It's permeating my brain. Thomas Alascio. His mafia name, which we use here, is Pistachio. Okay, his name's Pistachio. Richie Rich Rosen. There he goes. You can eat Richie Rich.
I am. That what you're saying? Gotta be polite,
Tommy put up a he redesigned his office. He put a picture up of his new setup with his screens. Did you set that up so you could show that to everybody right now, Tom? You did. If you didn't, it's okay. But if you did, it's look like a battle station. I don't understand how it's useful. Okay, there.
That looks
there
crazy.
It is. Rich, what's he doing there? I mean, you got that one hanging over you. I mean, like what goes up on that big screen on the top? TV?
Yeah, the cat looks scared too. you got your Google glasses there. I mean, look at all that, huh?
Tommy, we can't hear you. We can't
all
hear
that
you.
stuff.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. On the big screen, I have weather. I have world clock, so I know what time it is in the different time zones that I work, and news, and then my text messages because I have MacBook, so I can have my text.
And his actual real work is done on that little laptop. Everything else.
And then on the three screens on the bottom, I have applicant tracking system, email, and LinkedIn. So I can go back and forth between the three. I can, drag and drop, do stuff, look at what I'm doing in a pipeline, and then look at the candidates that I have. It really allows to me to be able to really work efficiently, not having to go from window to window or tab to tab.
Yeah, it makes sense.
What brand of screens are those? Since you're so
These
into
are 3 Dell 23.5-inch LCDs, and then that's a 40-inch Insignia television that I just co-opted because nobody was
that's a TV. Okay, that's Insignia is Best Buy's brand. So it's,
but I have an HT. It runs right into the back. So if you notice the square box on the bottom right, that's a Mac Studio, and it's got ports. So it runs 2 HDMI and 4 USB-C. So I could actually have 5 monitors if I wanted. And
why not go even more crazy?
Just making a whole video.
Run that far, go off that cliff. Okay,
and it's fun. My granddaughter comes over. We can hang out and play Roblox together or watch SpongeBob on it too, which is cool.
Okay, we want to see your face now, so please remove that from the screen. Thank you for putting it up though, and putting up with. Actually, it's Rich has a TV going in his office too. Now, there's something that I was going to ask you. I didn't have scheduled, but I thought about it during the week. Rich claims he's got ADHD. Am I right about that? Tommy's got. Ooh, yeah, maybe I do.
I take medicine. Totally.
Most recruiters.
Anyway, okay, but Rich said Ernie called me a few weeks ago. He called me, at nighttime, and he said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm working." Right. So Rich is famous for working like every hour of the day until he goes on vacation. Okay. If you've got ADHD, where do you get that kind of Sitzfleisch? I mean, how can you sit in one spot working for such a long time?
Because you're one, it's not like I'm sitting here staring at a screen 24/7. You're going to get up, you're going to walk around, you're going to work on this, that, and the other thing. I got 50 tabs open. So you're popping between, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, news sites, email.
Okay, so Rich has we didn't see Rich has a 48-inch curved screen.
You get a wide screen, right, Rich?
Yeah, the 49-inch screen. Yeah, I gotta tell you, it looks cool, but I honestly think the 3 screen setup, individual screen setup, is probably better in the long run.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Because when I bought my last computer, I took a tip from you. Now I'll take another one. I had a disaster with that computer this morning. I can't believe it's working right now. Everybody should have a backup computer.
They do. Okay. You should. I didn't do the studio that Tommy did. I just did a Mac Mini M2 as well.
And them twos they're awesome.
Yeah. I don't have
one. Here's something Rich told me when I was looking to buy a computer. He said I always get refurbished, and you should too. Okay. And that's
I've
good
gotten
news.
refurbished before. They don't have the studios are brand new, but Mac refurbished are awesome.
Yeah, even my M2 was refurbed already. I'm like, fantastic. It's probably like a week old that someone returned it.
It's not like Rich is begging for change to be able to buy his computer.
Saved, as I tell my children, a penny saved is a penny earned. You know.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to blow money. Like Mac is really good about refurbishing stuff, right? I mean, I buy used cars, right? Like, you know, my wife is big on used cars or new cars, but I like a used car because you can get a good warranty and someone's taking care of the depreciation, unless you're going to lease it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no need to buy a new Mac, and there's no need to buy a new car. You know.
Okay, I'm going to take your guys' word for it. Is there anything you guys want to start off with?
No.
Okay, Rich is looking for an SEO provider overseas. Am I right about that?
No, someone else had posted the overseas thing. I'm looking into hiring a marketing someone to do marketing for a specific purpose. Like a temporary thing. So someone else had posted the SEO thing, which I was curious
you
about.
said I'm involved in the same search. Come on, Rich.
I am. Well,
Screwing me up. I'm gonna have to edit this out.
Again, just said I'm looking for a specific marketing person. Karen and I are both looking for a marketing person to do a specific targeted outreach program. So
for you or for a client?
For me. Because I mean, right now tech is beaten up the worst it's probably been beaten up in 20 plus years. So, but first quarter in tech's always a little off.
You didn't understand what I was telling you on Facebook. I don't call Rich. Rich is a busy man, but sometimes
you're always welcome to call me, Adam. I like when you call me.
Facebook Messenger, okay? And so I said, Rich, I'm doing these 1-minute YouTube shorts. They're fantastic. I said, I can create them for you. Let's hire some of those VP sales, or let's bring them on the show. You'll show up for real. You'll ask some questions. I'll turn them into 1-minute videos that you can post all over LinkedIn to show everyone how smart you are, right? And then I got some more answer from you. Yeah, he didn't understand me. Don't trust.
That's not what I said. I said that's a great idea. So
no,
I'm actually doing I'm going to do a first test run of a podcast tomorrow that I'm the host on.
Was that the one you advertised? No, you were speaking at a conference or something.
No, that's speaking at a conference. But this was interviewing a VP of sales that I've worked with.
Okay, got to see it. I got to see it. If you need editing, I can teach you how to do that easy. Okay.
Listen, it's as I told this guy, I'm like, it's a test run for both of us. So
yeah, I don't know what you have to worry about. You're a good talker. You're great on any podcast I've heard you on. Okay. Even when they're not as good a host as I am. Okay. Now we're going to Tommy Alascio. Okay. Tommy's Tools from AppSumo. He gave his favorites. Okay. Handbox, I love it. You said you weren't so enthusiastic about it when you told us, and I didn't buy it because you said it is not good for contact information finding.
Nope. In fact,
why do you love it now?
I love the automation and how easily it pulls everything from Navigator into it. So, I took Rich's when he was interviewed on one of the other podcasts of, okay, I'm going to send a message, I'm going to send an email. Because I've got so many fucking searches to work on. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, do you want to tell? He had a big confession on Facebook today as well. Do you want to start there? You want to start there?
I want to apologize to anyone that I said the campaigns don't work, that I'm an arrogant prick, and I understand, right? Because it worked. I mean, they're interviewing this guy today, and they're probably going to hire this guy.
Well, he's not introducing it well. He's a cold call master and a promoter of cold calls, but he was sick. So instead, he used this Canbox, right? He used it to send out an email campaign, and he got
no. I used to send out a LinkedIn connection request. It sends out automated connection requests, so I can send the 80 connection requests out to say, "Hey, Rich, this is Tom. I'm a headhunter. I got this opportunity in Chicago. Do you want to talk?" And then after I sent that, I waited a couple hours and sent him an email that said, "Hey, I sent you a LinkedIn connection request. I'm following up with an email. Did you see it?" And so it just worked. I mean, in fact, right before this call, I got another guy just replied to me for a different search, and I haven't even sent another one out yet.
Yeah,
so
that's
really
the power of campaigns, though. Whether it's LinkedIn, like I'll use Jobin for that, like Jobin.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing, but the difference with Jobin is you can have it set so it does a LinkedIn message, can do a connection request. If you're already connected, or you're not connected, whatever, you can send a LinkedIn request. It can send an email, a LinkedIn text message or message rather, and then it can also send an email as well.
Yeah,
and
their
then
campaign's
also,
pretty good.
Yeah, and then it can also send. You can do an if and or kind of tree. So if you don't have an email, it will send. You can send, like, I like emails better than email usually. So you can have it set. So if you don't have an email rather, it will send an email. If you are you're blocked and you can't send any more emails for whatever reason, you can automatically send the emails. So it's a super smart tree you can build out. It takes some time, but it's got a great ability to do
And
a lot
you
of things.
guys aren't getting kicked off LinkedIn for all this automation?
Because
go ahead, Rich.
You're all within the rules. If you're using in-mails, you only get so many of them. As long as you're not getting, as long as you're sending to the right people. Like, you can't, like I years and years and years ago, I had tried some company. They sucked, and it's probably why I'm so anti-in-mail. They basically blasted the entire wrong industry for me, and didn't listen to a thing I said, and I got put in LinkedIn jail for a little while, because too many people said, I don't know you, or I'm not interested, whatever. They just did. If you get so many no's, you're in jail. So
also withdraw old connections, Rich. Withdraw your oldest, like connections that are older than 3 months. You can auto withdraw them on Jobin. That keeps you out of LinkedIn jail. Rich and I both pay for Sales Navigator, and I've seen a couple different rules, but I've heard it's 200 connection requests a day with Sales Navigator you're allowed to do. So we're staying within the limits by sending a couple hundred a day at the most.
Yeah, but they're going fast. Isn't the speed with which you contact?
No, they work at human speed. They work at human speed.
And also too, I mean, sending email connections is one thing. Sending a bunch of sending in-mails is one thing. Connections aren't that big deal. I mean, as a human, I can send, like, I'm maxed out on LinkedIn anyway.
You can't send any more connection requests, can you?
So I keep deleting people, which Jobin was nice enough to build me a way to mass delete people. So it will, so if you're doing in-mails, you want to be a little bit more, thoughtful about it. Connections, dude, you can send out 50 in a second as a human. They don't care. If you're sending 200 a day out, they may flag that if they just suddenly see you popping a million in there.
Yeah, I don't do it every single day. I try to, or I'll do, I did 60 yesterday. I think I'm going to do 84 today. Right.
Yeah.
Like, if you keep within those things, and then don't use LinkedIn while that's running. That's the other thing people don't understand. These scrapers or automations run at human speed. So if it's doing connection requests and you're on LinkedIn searching and doing other shit, that's how you get caught.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me hold on. Jobin, he's using Jobin. That's an applicant tracking system. That's what Rich is using, but it's not his primary. It's not his primary applicant tracking system.
I don't use it as the ATS side. I just use it for the LinkedIn feature.
What do you do after? Do you then, once you're done your campaign and that, do you download a CSV and put it into Crelate?
I usually just, I have my admin pull all the people I'm putting anyway into, if I have I build a list in like Sales Nav, and I just have them pull all those people into Crelate, and then I have it running there. So, I mean, that's the one downside. It doesn't tie into Crelate, but
yeah,
LinkedIn doesn't anyway. So you have to any of these, so you got to do that part manual, which sucks.
Okay, this is a problem I had with Jobin. That's why I joined all these groups. I was trying to figure out a way to get Jobin and Alascio to talk to one another, because I wanted to use their ATS system because of the LinkedIn connection requests and the trees you could build. Yeah. But I couldn't figure out how to go from there over to the ATS to then, work the job.
Yeah, and like Jobin, I think, is a great program. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart. It's a little complex, and the interface isn't pretty.
Their X-ray is pretty good.
Their X-ray is very good. I mean, it's a good program once you know how to use it, and the people there are supremely nice. Like, so helpful. They'll help you do anything.
I'm not a paid subscriber, and they help me when I ask them.
Yeah. I mean, they really are. They're fantastic to work with. Probably one of the nicest group of people to work with. So, I mean, I hope they're successful.
Okay. And I just want to make sure that people, if they're listening, Canbox, Kanbox.
Yeah,
that's on AppSumo. That's what Tommy is raving about.
Again, I love it only for the LinkedIn connection request feature.
You're going to make a placement from that. It costs you maybe $70 for a lifetime deal. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, let me ask you a question. Speaking of this, I talked to a company, which I'm going to hold off on the name for a moment. What do you think about a product that can use AI to automate? I'm talking to these guys next week, so further next week. Automate your responses on LinkedIn. Using AI, it literally learns your company over time and can actually give legitimate responses, even make little jokes.
Do you need it to do that? Are you that busy that you have that many replies to LinkedIn? Because I don't.
I often do, because I post if I post something, I get at a minimum 2,000 views on a post, and I get hundreds of responses. But it's also commenting on the people, I believe, everyone you follow. So every time they post, like you get a client that posts something.
Oh, okay.
This will make you just because you want to be seen. To me, LinkedIn.
If it's not natural, I would have a serious problem if it's not. It would have. You and I are very. You can tell when we're talking. You could tell if it's us versus automated. So
we're a little blunter than most.
Yeah. So the AI would really have to be.
Which is your virtue? Okay, let's admit it.
Authenticity.
Everything I've seen from AI is bland. Okay, I'm not saying I don't have.
No,
much
I will
experience.
tell you. You know what? So you have to train it and prompt it properly to really make it sound more like I have mine write casual. I'm like, I have it, hey, rewrite this, and it makes it sound very nice, but not me. But then I have it write it as casual, a little too casual, and then I can spice up with my own little sauce. But I did, what I did yesterday though? I'm curious how this email works out. I sent the campaign last night. I had it write as based on an analogy. So I say, hey, write to a VP of sales and compare the difficulty of learning to ski, or learn to conduct an orchestra or something like that to recruiting. And it actually came out with some pretty awesome emails. So I'm actually curious to see if I get any better.
Can you try to write a persona? Like you can make a persona of yourself.
Yep.
And then tell the AI to write as your persona.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I did that. Trish Tam can actually help me build a persona and teach it to write like me.
Did you give it ADHD, bad spelling, bad grammar? Because that's kind of, I feel like I have bad spelling and bad grammar. That's why I want more persona to be if I'm going to do it.
Amen. I'm right there with you. So which we're very case positive why all these people that want perfection are just wasting their time, because you and I are far from it. But this, so basically you feed in, a bunch of things you've written. So this is how I write. And then it learns to write like you.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And did you ChatGPT did that for you?
Yeah. So Trish Tam can help me do it. She had something. I don't know what I've had a prompt or whatever that helped me do it.
Interesting.
So,
okay, you guys reminded me of something I did want to talk about. I won't even look at my notes, but I remembered something.
Oh boy.
They said, no, this fits in with what Rich always says. I can't remember Tommy's take on this. Rich says, I don't waste my time on doing lots of personalization on my candidate outreach emails. Some people do 20 minutes of research to show the person they know all about them and blah, blah. Nobody. This guy, the email expert, said, he says, don't waste time on personalization. Tell them right away what you're offering them. There's no greetings or anything like that. Just get to the point. And so I don't know. When he said it made sense, but they all seem to make sense sometimes.
Yeah, listen, I personally think personalization, it certainly works. I don't have the attention span, and I certainly can't hit the volume I want in general. Like the ways I've been trying to personalize is like, hey, if I'm going after everyone in the BI industry or analytics industry, it's like, hey, here's this. It's listen, I know what's going on in the space, or I know what your pain are as a VP, or you put it in general categories that can apply to a lot of people. Like videos. If I'm going to make a video, I'll make one to Bob, Jim, Tom, and Mike, knowing I've got 20 of each of those in my campaign list. So it's like, hey, Bob, and I can send that to everyone named Bob, right? Like basic personalization. Because and listen, I may be very wrong, but I'm a big believer in our business. A lot of it's just timing. You hit people at the right time, and you win.
I believe that, and keep it simple, stupid.
Bingo.
These big drawn out emails, 17 steps. Like it's just like Rich said, timing. This kid that I got yesterday is in between. He just finished a gigantic project. He's a project manager, and I happened to catch him at the right time. And I think something's going on with the company because 2 other people that worked at that company reached out to me in that same campaign. So like it's like you said, it's a timing issue often. So if you're constantly, on top of these things and sending, but not being overbearing, I think you're just going to hit. It's going to work. I mean, that's
which is also the reason why Paul, like posting on LinkedIn is so important. Posting to your niche is so important. Having those targeted audiences so they see your name all the time. Like I get comments daily from candidates, clients who are like, dude, your marketing team is phenomenal. And I'm like, really? I'm like, let me tell myself. I'm like, give
myself a raise.
Yeah, it's just that I post something at least every other day. There's some people believe, or I try to do it every other day. Some people believe you should do it every day. You should do a personal.
Really, I almost never see your stuff. Isn't that funny? And I'm connected to you. Isn't it?
Yeah, but you know what? Reality is that's the problem. Like I have 1,300 unopened LinkedIn messages and notifications and crap like that. In my
personally
email.
Or people you send.
Why don't you start a group? Why don't you start a Rich Rosen group, and then when you send a message, it can go to everybody in the group that's targeted instead of just posting in your news stream.
Well, that's what Ernie did. He's got the Food Recruiters recruiting group or whatever. He's got like 30,000 members or something.
Oh, really? Okay, and he still calls Rich for advice at midnight or something.
And I answered though.
I wish Ernie would capitalize. I think that's that thing that he's got access to every single person in his niche in that group. He doesn't have to connect requests with them. They're all part of, if you're in a group with someone, first of all, he runs the group. But I don't know if you know this, if you're in a group with someone, you can message them free. Right?
Yeah.
You don't
didn't they cut back on all that stuff?
No. If you're in a group.
No, they did. They cut back on the groups. You used to be able to, now you're limited on groups, and they did change something else. Because groups used to be a secret weapon. That's one way how I built my network so big so fast was because of all these groups. It used to be actually years ago. Yeah, I don't know, Animal, you may remember this. There was a thing, I forget what the hell it's called now, but it was purposely built so you could mass build your connection request really quickly, and it would connect you to a whole group of people who whole purpose was to get the most connections. So you
Lion. Mario's a member of that. Lion.
Lion was early on.
That was early on, but there was a program. Lion, I'm part of that too. But Lion was this other thing was you could get a spreadsheet. Maybe it was Lion then. Maybe they would send you a spreadsheet.
No, I don't know that. Never heard of it.
They would send you a spreadsheet with like 500 people that absolutely would connect with you. Doesn't matter. Like Flip something was like always the number one guy, most connected person. And it was the easy. Most of them were text.
Lebowski? Was that Flip Lebowski? Okay.
Yeah. Very good. There you go.
That was a name that's easy. That's a great brand. Okay.
Totally. And like he's probably the number one most connected guy on LinkedIn. But anyway, it was great because you would just send a mass email connection request at the time to like 500 people, and then you just have to spend the day accepting. And that was
but they're too general. I mean, it's just.
But that was years ago.
You also able to get emails back if nobody replied to them. They had all different rules.
My memory is, I at least is sticking today. I wanted to point something out with regards to personalization. Tom told us 20 minutes ago that in those messages he was sending with Cambox, they were really simple. There was no personalization. Can you tell us again?
Their first name was personalized.
Yep.
Every single message said Steve, John, Bill, Rich.
How much of a difference does that make?
I think it does. I think at least that one little thing. I believe that.
I
agree.
If
someone sends me a message that doesn't have my first name, I'm like, fuck that.
Well, you immediately know they put no effort in. At least if it's got a first name in, they put.
No, when I see the first name or something, after once first I used to think that they were really talking to me. Then once I caught on, it's like a cheat, and I say they don't know me. They're pretending to know me. It's a turnoff for me.
So
but what I want, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say this is funny. I got referred last week by the head of sales to his head of customer success and his head of sales engineering, and I just put in my email, hey, XYZ said to give just the subject line was referred by XYZ. And the email was, hey, listen, this guy said to reach out to you. Your boss said to reach out. Your peer, whatever. Love to help you with the SE search. The guy sends me an email. He's like blasting me saying, that was trickery. And and it was like, and I'm like, I'm like, and I emailed the CC the boss on it. And I'm like, dude, explain to him you asked me to help you out on the search. It wasn't trickery. It was literally just saying he referred me. But
you're lucky he replied. At least you had a chance to correct his stupid accusation.
But that's it. The personalization thing. Yeah, some days it works, some days it doesn't. You never know. Like everything else.
Okay, let me since my memory's working today, Tom,
that
you give us
good dosage.
He tried to derail me with that first name thing. What was the script you were using? It was really simple. There was no 20 minutes of research for each candidate that you were approaching. What did it say?
Did my navigator search, right? And then I did the first message on LinkedIn was I shot you an email. Well, okay, that was the wrong one. Hold on.
He seemed to know it 20 minutes ago. Now he's forgotten. Now that I made a big deal about it to praise him for it, he can't remember. Okay.
So it's the email it said I shot you an email earlier today. Figured a connection request might help in case you don't see my email. Hit me up if you're open. Otherwise, have a great week. That's what
you didn't even introduce yourself. Say I'm a headhunter doing this job. Look at this search.
No, that was the connection request. On the email, I did say, hi, I'm a headhunter, and I'm doing this search for. I'm looking for a project manager or whatever the search was. So
that's all you really need. That's all you really need.
Yeah.
It's not greetings of the day or whatever those guys.
Yeah, greetings and salutations. No greetings and salutations.
Dearest Rich, it's coming from Pakistan or someplace like that. Dearest.
Well, look, I tell everybody when you call somebody on the phone, never ask them how they are. Ever.
Yeah, exactly.
You never ask them how they are. You say, hi, this is Rich Rosen. I know you're busy. I'll be brief. I'm a headhunter. I specialize in IT. Or, hi, this is Tom Alascio. I know you're busy. I'll be brief. I'm a headhunter. I specialize in structural engineering. And that's it. And the email, I said, I'm a headhunter. I sent you a LinkedIn connection request this morning and figured I'd follow up with email. Quick and to the point. I need a project manager with heavy industrial experience for a project, willing to pay what it takes to get to the right person. Open to a confidential conversation, ? That was it.
Okay, there you go, beginners. There's your full script, okay? That's all you need.
Slow,
no 20 minutes research on each candidate to find out what their hobbies are.
I put title was heavy industrial project manager in the subject line. First name, right? I'm a headhunter, and I sent you a LinkedIn connection request this morning, and I figured I would follow up with an email. Quick and to the point, I need a project manager with heavy industrial experience for a project in Brunswick, willing to pay what it takes to get to the right person. To get the right person, are you open to a confidential conversation? ? That was it.
And was it to a personal or business email?
You cut out what?
Personal
or business email.
Oh, okay. So this time I only did personal. So I sent like twice as many connection requests, but I only had half of the personal emails of the people that I sent connection requests to. So I only sent to personal emails this time. I was a little I'm a 10-10 now, and I did all that DNS bullshit. And I was worried about sending to business emails. So I kind of just backed off to see what I got with the personal. And every single email was a personal.
Okay, by the way, Michael G. Cox was here last week, and he told us he just hired some guy on Fiverr for $50 to take care of his email corrections. Any comment on that? Because I know you're the expert.
Yeah, I mean, it's not super hard.
Doing email verification, you mean?
No, fixing the DMARC, the DKIM, and all that stuff.
Yeah, dude, you just go to MX Toolbox. They do it for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hard if you have done. Like I did it and showed everybody else how to do it. But if you've never done it before, or you're older and
it can be a little scary if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, you can start.
Ben Ling, how old is Ben Ling? That's why I saw Tom talking to him. Ben Ling said it's so complicated, right? Wasn't he saying I spent all day and I saw how bad my email was, and you replied with your video.
Here's the text message, here's the LinkedIn connection request message. I'm a headhunter and I need a project first name. I'm a headhunter and I need a PM in Brunswick for a DoD project. Heavy industrial. 110,000 square foot expansion, design build cost plus. We'll pay for hotel, apartment, per diem, etc. 125 to 140 base, maybe more, plus bennies, etc. Open to a conversation, question mark.
That's a lot of info. That is a lot of info. Somebody can
less
find
than
out
30 characters.
Okay. But some recruiters don't want to give out put out into outer space all that information about their client.
They can't figure out who the client is from that. There's no way.
Okay. What about, you've got some more here? Social Monail. Social. Oh, Socia. S-O.
I don't know what Rich uses, but he should look into that too. It's basically it's just a social media management, right? You say you send out
which product?
I'll spell it. SOCIAMONAIL. Socia MONAIL. And he says he loves it. Okay.
I love it. I absolutely love it, because what it does is I have Facebook, LinkedIn business, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. All of my accounts are attached to it, and I can choose which ones to post to, and I can schedule too. So I can put like I was looking at your post, Rich, and like your job things. My jobs post every couple days automatically. And it mixes it up a little bit. Like you can have like 5 or 6 posts, and then you can have them mix up, so they're not seeing the same stuff all the time. And you never have to worry about it. Every single week, my link to my website, my job postings, and all the stuff we have are going on there, and I never have to worry about it. I have stuff for the holidays, Christmas, that are automatically going to go out, right? And then I spend like usually Thursday, late afternoon Thursday, putting 5 or 6, 7 posts in there to the current events that are going on within the industry or the work. And then they go off every, like at noon on Tuesday, at 3 o'clock on Wednesday, at 4 o'clock on Thursday, at 9 a.m. on Friday, or whatever it is. I have Friday funnies and stuff like that. And it allows you to keep that, like you said, your face on LinkedIn constantly, but not having to constantly do it every day. Like,
what was this called? Social, what was it?
SOCIAMONIALS.
All right, Tommy, just send it to me, because you guys keep talking over each other.
Okay, sorry.
We're just both too
the
helpful.
first thing I said on my phone rang too. So
that was cheap too.
Clauduria. CLODURA.ai.
You're cutting out again. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
Well, am I cutting out for Rich too, or just for you?
A little bit. It's Canadian Gmail, Canadian Google.
There you go, Rich.
Thank you.
Okay, it's Claudura.ai. CLODURA.ai.
Claudura, yes. That is you have Chatterworks, right, Rich?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Chatterworks. I got 2,000 credits a month, and they're not bad. I mean, I bought it because it looks like it has potential. It's just like Seamless. It's like Seek Out. It's like Apollo. They're all the same, right?
I got to tell you, speaking of Apollo sucks. Don't ever use Apollo.
I saw you saying that.
Oh, dude. Like, honest to God. So this is the whole deal, though. I signed up for it. I wanted to see about the intent. I'm like, all right, try it for 2 weeks, and they try for. I figured, all right, I already had a free thing, and you couldn't try the intent. So I'm like, I want to try the intent. No one ever got back to me. I'm like, all right, let me just try it. Stupidly, I ended up signing up for a year, and thinking there was a free trial to it. My own stupidity. So I try it. It's horrible. Nothing you value for me. Just business emails and things like that. The intent, I couldn't get any value out of it. And so I email like literally 2 days later. I'm like, hey, can I just, get a refund on this, or, even just charge me for the month, switch to a monthly billing. Nope. Can't do that. And I'm like,
oh,
seriously.
Man.
All right. Then I'm like, seriously? I'm like, I used like 5 credits. There's, I'll pay for the full month, $40, whatever it is. So she's like, nope, can't do it. So then she sent me an email the next day saying, hey, for $9, we can switch you to a $9 a month plan. I didn't see it for I just got buried somehow. So I get back like 3 days later or whatever it was. And she's like, oh, it's expired. We can't give you that deal now.
Oh, jeez. Is that where you were trying to sell it online?
Yeah. Just like someone else can have this piece of crap. And then I'm like, seriously, dude, I'm on Podcast Weekly. I've talked to thousands of your users. Everyone I talk to is a buyer of this kind of product. All I do is place sales executives. Not so I even sent an email to the president of the company just because I was so fucking annoyed because there's such shit customer service. I got nothing. So
Really?
and so
Wow.
I go find it on my credit card, and now if I go to LinkedIn, it tells me that my Apollo is blocked because there's a banking issue. Yeah, I'm like, dude, is this scummy? Is it just scumbag company? I'm like,
Really? Other
listen,
people are still recommending it. Other people are still recommending it.
I mean, I'm sure that look, everything works for everybody. I think Zoom Info and Recruiter are the two biggest wastes of money in the world. Yep. Right? People swear by them, and the concept is Zoom Info's 10 grand, Recruiter's 10 grand a year, right? Yep. Make one placement, it pays for it. That's their idea. But like, dude, I make every placement with Navigator. So
yeah. Well, that's exactly. I could get the same deal with free LinkedIn if I build my connections up, and you know what? I can still keep my full placement. I have to spend it on stupid tools that I didn't need to begin with.
Yeah, like, these are the refurbished boys. So
what? Exactly. Hey, listen, penny eared, my friend.
20 grand for those two. I can do a lot with 20 grand.
Okay, so when you originally mentioned Clodura, you were much more enthusiastic about it than you are now. Okay, so you've turned Canbox. You were iffy on. Now you love it.
I think Clodura would be good for Rich because it's very tech based, IT based, right? They like if you go and they have a source thing like Zoom Info or Chatterworks or whatever, and you can search by all these different like technical things that I don't know anything about, Python and C++ and that type of stuff. So that's why I think in fact that Tom, what's his name, tried it out, but there's all these advanced filters that you can search, and I get what do I get? I get friggin' 8,000 contact unlocks a month.
Yeah, I mean, you get, even for free, you get 100 emails a month, 100 downloads, 12 million direct dials.
Okay, just let me run through the rest of his guide. He's got Use Artemis. That's the word use. Is that part of it, the title? Use?
I haven't seen that in a while. That used to be pretty cool, too. I haven't seen that in a while.
It's not bad. I mean, I get $49 for it. I get 8,000 credits a month with that, too. And I
what is it? Also a contact info finder?
Yeah, and there's a campaign feature, and there was a connection request feature. Then they removed it. Then they put it back, and then they removed it again.
Hey, apparently I already signed up for Clodura. Must have already forgotten about it. Yeah, I must have used it a long time ago and forgot about it.
Yeah, check out the technology parameters. I think is where you would probably.
Yeah, mine's not. I mean, I'm all in software, but it's not like I don't get too into the weeds about Python and that kind of stuff.
They have a funding section. You can look at funding.
Oh yeah, that's pretty surt. Yeah, but you know what they've got? You know what? If you use Lucia too, Lucia added a big intent section that's been pretty good actually.
Yeah, I've heard of Lucia. I've never used it, but yeah, I mean, they have technology parameters. They have.
Okay, we're moving on from that. There's one more. Click Reach. You fetched about Click Reach as well. Not so good.
I bought it because I thought it was going to be like Upticks, right? That's what it is. It's just like it's a fledgling baby version of Upticks that has not done a single thing since I bought it. They haven't added anything, changed anything, done anything to it. So yeah, I bought it and it was $49 or $59. I was like, well, I just kept it. And like Rich, but he has Clodura and doesn't even remember. So it's like, I had to go back and look at Sumo to make sure I had all the ones that I had bought.
Yeah, that's the thing. I have so many of them. And I'm like, they all do the same thing. So you can only use so many.
But he always says, if anybody's listened this far, he always says, you have to use different ones. They're not all covering the same territory.
Well, you need to have like 3 of them. But the trick is trying to find out which one is pulling from which source.
Yeah, it has my tech stack. Sales Navigator, Sales QL.
But the other part is, hang on. But the other part is you got to make sure when they update. Some of them update weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. So like the ones that update yearly, I mean, in my space, they're usually toast by like 2 months into the year because tech people move so frequently.
Or they only, like, for example, Canbox only does business emails, right?
Yeah, a lot of people.
No phone numbers, right? Like, so that's worthless to me.
Yeah.
For the contact finder.
That's a revelation. Important information.
Business stuff, right? Yeah. And so I want personal. That's why SalesQL, Rich and I had a conversation, like SalesQL of right now, as we speak, SalesQL is hitting the tops. Now I can't compare Zoom Info, but SalesQL is hitting the tops for most mobile phone numbers.
Okay. Now here's the Rich Rosen rule used to be, we haven't talked about it for a long time, walk away from bad clients. Don't waste time with bad clients. What would you do in this condition? The The client came back with a low ball. They knew what the candidate wanted, but they lowballed. The candidate countered, said, no, I want this much. So the client company pulled the offer. And so the recruiter walked away, never going to do business with that company again. What's your take on that situation? Did I explain it well enough for you to understand?
No, they got a low ball offer. That was it.
They got a lowball offer, and then when the candidate said no, I want more than that, they pulled the offer.
Yeah, but again, what was you got to know all the rest of the circumstances? What did they? How low was the offer? And what I mean, it's funny. I had a candidate that just said that it wasn't. A guy called me for advice, and they said they offered him a low salary, and he did the same thing. I was like, well, ask for this, for X, which was totally in range, and it was not my client. And so the guy did it, and they pulled the offer. And I think personally, that's a shitty company. If that's how they're going to treat you and act, they're going to give you an offer. But if you ask,
the logic they're thinking of probably, if this person wants more than we're willing to pay, it's not going to work out in the long run, even if we can come to some.
It's a defeatist attitude, though. If you're not even willing to have a negotiation and a conversation, think about like I'm working on trying to get in front of a particular company. The VP of sales wants me to use me. I sent my contract over to the internal recruiter I talked to, said, great, we'll get the signed it back to you. Called for an engagement fee. Nothing. All right. The guy's not even going to give you a chance to discuss it. That's a shitty company to begin with. And then the VP of sales, he's like, well, it's on, it's now 2 weeks. I'm like, dude, I already lost a candidate that would have been perfect for you. He's like, well, I got to let him run with it. And I'm like, but it's your ass on the line. Like these companies that just want to, either you pull an offer and they don't want to even have a conversation about why. Maybe there's a reason. It's a shitty company to work for, most likely. In a good market, I would 1,000% walk away. If that's your only job, yeah, maybe you roll with it for a little bit more, but you don't spend a ton of time on it. It's like an hour a day company.
Okay, this recruiter said a job interview should be a conversation, not an interrogation. But at the same time, everybody's saying you have to have a structured interview. I don't know if you guys were here when Steve Levy, a corporate recruiter, was here. He says you got to have standard questions and standard grading. That's what works. That's turning it into an interrogation or a quiz. It's not a conversation when you're asking a set questions and grading them by the same standards. What do you guys think? Would you recommend people to have these structured interviews or real conversations?
Are we talking about like I'm screening the candidate, or are we talking about the client?
No, the client.
I think behavioral-based interview questions are very important. I do.
Yeah, I mean, but you have to have some kind of great, it's like you can't go in there. You got to have some kind of level of what does this mean? All right. There's one thing, it's just saying, oh, listen, I really like the guy because he's got the hustle and the drive. It's another thing when, you get these tech guys, for instance, who are like, the manager's like, well, give me on a score of 1 to 10, what are you on Python? Okay. It's a dumb question because this guy may give himself a 6, but a 6 to him may be a 10 for someone else. So you have no basis. And then millions of people. I was just talking to a buddy of mine who's an internal recruiter for a company. And this is an exact situation that was going on where the hiring manager would ask that question and they would pass on people because they'd give themselves a 6 or a 7. And he's like, well, I really need an 8.
Okay, that's a place where they need a test to test the person.
Yeah.
This is a bigger company that and everyone's got their crap together, but this guy has just gone rogue, and it just proves, I mean, you need some level of structure to say, hey, X matters. What does that matter?
But the thing is with structure is with, like Tom was saying, behavioral questions, but then everybody they see, if it isn't a panel interview, they have to ask the same questions, because if they all ask different questions, they might come up with, wildly different assessments because they're not covering the same subject matter.
You also have to look at, is it a first interview? Is it a final interview? Are you selling? The client has to understand it, and in the market's different too. Like in tech, if they have 70 people applying for jobs, then they can be dicks and be selective, right? But with mine, I have 1 or 2 guys. They need to sell the candidate on the job. They need to be, why you need to come work for us. We're great. We're rah, rah, rah. And at the same time,
I'm moving on. This conversation is not turning into a 1-minute YouTube short. I guarantee it. It's way too amorphous.
You can't answer that question. Is it so subjective?
Okay. Okay. What about this one? It's related. This person said, if you've got a director position or more senior than that, it cannot be settled in a phone screen and 2 interviews. Okay. It's got to be a lot more. Are you guys in with that? So how many, but everyone's saying, don't drag it out. Don't have lots of interviews. How many interviews can you have for a director's job, a senior executive position?
I mean, what do you consider an interview? Like for my department head positions that I do, there's a phone screen, usually a one-on-one with the guy he'll be reporting to, then a panel interview, then a meeting with the psychiatrist, and then flies to the home office to meet the president to get the offer.
No meeting with the wife? What? I mean,
no. I mean that's you're talking about. This is a department head position. They're going to be making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 and running a $400 million operation for them.
And what's the time frame on that? That
takes about a month and a half.
Okay.
But then on the flip side, like a sales rep or an engineer is 2 interviews.
Oh God, I wish it was 2 interviews. Jesus Christ.
Yours aren't 2 interviews?
No, fuck no. I mean, mine, you got to, potentially meet with an internal. Then you got to meet with the RVP. Then you got to meet with another RVP. Then you got to meet with the SC. Then you got to meet with the man. Then you got to do a demo. Then you got to meet with the CRO. If it's a very early stage startup, oftentimes it's still 3 interviews on the short end. No one likes to make a decision anymore because they don't want to be blamed. So
I'm shocked you have that. How many candidates? How long does it take? How many candidates do you lose in that process?
It depends on the company. Some companies move it super quick. Other companies, it's fucking, right now. Again, my market shifted 180 degrees. So right now, these things can take, month and a half. I mean, but at the same token, that same company, I got the right guy in at the right time, and 9 days, I got the deal closed. So,
this project manager, they're going to interview him on Teams today. If that goes well, they're going to bring him in and interview him in corporate and make him an offer. That's going to be 2 interviews. My screen and their 2 interviews.
Is there a dollar? Is there a salary dollar level that you would say 2 interviews at 100,000 and below, or 5 interviews at 150?
It's responsibility. I think it's responsibility versus money, right?
Yeah.
Like I got a branch manager who's going to be making 90, right? Small building material company. He's going to have 3 or 4 interviews because he's going to be running a branch for them, and he's only making 90, right? So, and this guy.
So you guys are not in the school of complaining that companies are dragging out their hiring process too long.
Of course I am.
But
I tell them I won't work with them.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Listen. The end of the day is like this company that's got this long, crazy process. It's my favorite and least favorite company I've ever worked with, actually, because I love all the people there. They're obscenely particular. My worst resume to placement or send out to placement ratio in history, like double. But I would still take equity in the company because I know they're going to be huge.
Okay, so you like the company, but how can you like the people if they're so obscene?
It is. It's a weird situation. And I tell this to candidates, and it's an awesome way to get them excited about the company, believe it or not, because they want to be exclusive. They want to be someplace where, you believe in it. I literally pitch it just how I pitched it. It's literally, I tell them it's my favorite and least favorite company because they make me work. It's super hard because they want perfection. They want great people, and that's what's going to make this company an amazing place. And I, honest to God, hand to God, I've been fighting with them to get equity instead of cash. Because they are a carbon copy of another company I did a ton of work for. Even the guy that I placed at other companies, the head of sales at this company. And I believe in the guy. I believe in the mission. I believe in what they're doing. So
how do you say that? I want equity.
I literally just said that is
You
literally
say
the word. That's literally just say it like I just said.
And what they say, Rich, jump in the lake.
No, Google gave Heidrick and Struggles a huge amount of stock options in lieu of a fee, and those guys made like $30 million when they went public.
Yeah. I mean, I've got
it's a risk. It's a risk, but
it's a huge risk.
I mean, make huge money.
Yeah, I mean, I had a $50,000 fee last year. I took half of that in stock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if that thing goes huge, I mean, it's right now it's on the fence. It could literally be like $100 million company next week, or it could be in the toilets. But if it goes huge, listen,
They may never see you again.
We'll do the next one from the
I
yellow.
was thinking. Yeah,
You know? I'll pick you up.
I got a question. I got another question. I really like this one. It's funny. I'm not getting to it till now, and I had an immediate reaction, but judging by how things go on this show, you guys will probably disagree with me. Okay.
Already,
this guy, you're disagreeing before you know what it is. Okay.
Wrong.
Wrong. Yeah. Okay. This guy said cold calling is a mindset, not a skill. I agree 100%. But Stephen O'Donnell, who's been on the show, who's a super cold caller, I'll tell one of his stories if you want later. He said making the call is mindset. Making something from the call is skill. Okay.
That's the right answer.
Agreed.
That's the right answer.
Yep.
This is a guy when he was 18 years old. When he was 18 years old, he was having a boring job selling advertising for the police magazine in Glasgow. And so what he would do when he was bored, he would get these phone numbers for New York, and he would just call residences and people and say, "Hi, I'm in Scotland and I'm kind of bored and I'm looking for friends to talk to." This was when he was 18. He said when he was on the show, it was last year, a month ago, he said, "I was in New York and I visited some of those people. I'm still friends with them." Here's a guy. That's a mindset, okay? That's a mindset. Someone who's bold, who has guts, who's not.
But that's the whole thing.
He's not selling anything to become friends. Anybody can make friends. We're talking about selling too. That's different.
But there's two different things. I mean, the whole Tom and I agree. Like the mindset of just picking up the phone, that's a mindset. The ability to convert it to something is a skill. But literally, it does go hand in hand because, listen, like I don't pre-plan my cold calls in terms of like what I'm going to say. I just have a general spiel, and half the time I fuck it up, but it doesn't matter. It becomes authentic again. It's natural, and people, they get it. And then it goes back to also, I think, posting a lot and being seen on LinkedIn all the time. People go on there, and if you post enough, people get to see your name, which I think helps. You get to be known in your industry. But most people are just afraid to pick up a phone. So,
okay. So were you going to say, now, hold on. I like you. You made a very strong endorsement now. I hope no one misses it, of social media marketing. Okay.
Yeah.
He's done it right through this show. I've never heard it to this extent. Okay. He's pushing it today. Okay. But here's the thing. What percentage do you think is attitude or mindset and skill? I'd say 90% mindset. What would you guys give me then?
I don't know. I think Tom and I have both done cold calling for so long. It's just what you do. So I've done my entire life.
Okay, but you know the difference between yourself and these people you hire and don't work out. Okay, come on.
I say it's a numbers game until you get the skills, and then it's a skills game, but you still have to have some numbers.
What are the skills then? What are the skills that you're talking about?
The skills of being able to build rapport like that.
Overcome objection, build rapport.
Like, exactly. Just getting through the initial, oh God, a fucking sales call. Whether it's a head of sales or head or whoever you're calling, just being able to say, yeah, I know, it's another stupid recruiter, but trust me, just give me 10 seconds and you can hang up me and call me a loser. Don't care. All right. It's literally just getting through the stupidity, because everyone's initial reaction, the human reaction, someone calls you like, ugh, a sales call.
Yeah.
And you say, listen, I'm not selling. It's like, you don't even say I'm not selling anything, because then you are selling something. But you just literally just mindset of, I guess you are. It's like you get in the mindset of, listen, I'm here to help you, baby. This is a worthwhile call for you, not for me. And this person's going to save your life, save your career, or listen, this job is going to save your life or your career or your marriage. This way you can afford your mistress and your wife. Whatever you want to do to get them talking.
I say, take my card with my number on it, put it behind your wife's picture. That way, when the shit hits the fan and you get laid off, you call me before you call her.
There you go.
People remember that, man. They remember that when I say that.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's funny. It stands out. I mean, that's great. It's a great line.
And it's shocking at first. Put your number behind my wife's picture. What?
Yeah.
Because if the shit hits the fan and you get laid off, you call me before you call her. And then it turns them around right at that time. Oh, okay. I get it.
Yeah, that's
they're going to remember me versus the guy who calls and goes, "Hi, I'm a headhunter. Do you have an interested job? Oh, you don't? Okay, thank you. Click. Do you know anybody? Let's connect on LinkedIn. I'll connect with you on LinkedIn. If anything changes, call me. Click."
Yeah,
that's every freaking cold call.
It's also the whole thing with cold calling. It's all about how you say it. If you talk loud and fast, like I talk on speakerphone all day long, just like this, And I talk loud and fast. Sometimes I'm like, listen, I only have a minute. Like I called you, but I just, I only got a minute. We can set up another time later, but I got this great opportunity. Or, hey, listen, I don't know if you can use this great candidate, but if you're interested, let's talk at 3:00 today. And they're like, well, what just happened? I do need someone.
My phone's about to die. So let me tell you this real quick. And then if it dies, I'll call you back.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much stuff you can do. I bring up their school. I bring up the football team in their town. If they play rugby, I am all over that. Are you a back? Do I have to bust my ass so you can score? I do all that stuff.
But I said this a long time ago. Animal. It's like Food Network probably made me more fucking money than anything.
Why?
Just like because you're talking about, dude, you're in like buttfuck Ohio. Have you ever been to this like dumpy diner I saw in like Triple D or
diners,
something?
drive-ins, and dimes. Good idea, bro. That's good.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So you guys do the personalization. You're way into it, but only in your phone conversations.
Because it doesn't come across. If I said that, put my number behind your wife's picture in an email address. Oh my God, you fucking.
That'd be awesome. Hey, and while you're at, send me a picture of your wife.
Yeah, I mean, but it's the inflection. It's the laugh. It's the I use terms depending on who you're talking to. There's certain terms you can use. When I call New York, I talk faster, and I call myself Tommy. Right? When I call the South, I talk a little slower, and we talk about it's just.
You call Texas, you just put the phone on the floor and walk away for 20 minutes because they talk forever, Tell
them that, hey, if the power goes out, I understand. If the power goes out, I understand.
Listen, I literally charged the company once more because they had an channel alliance role in Texas. And I'm like, normally my fee is like 25%. I got to charge you 28 because like every call to an alliance guy in Texas, who I love, they're fantastic people, but holy shit, they'll talk to you after you're dead. You ask them anything, and it all starts about how the grandpappy came over from wherever, and it takes forever. So every call is 30 minutes minimum. So
put that on LinkedIn.
Alabama,
see how many calls you get from Texas.
They'll get crazy with football. Alabama, Roll Tide.
Oh yeah. That's why I have the Big Ten sticker from Wisconsin up here. That starts, if it's a video call, that starts conversations 9 out of 10 times. That's the first thing people comment on.
I'm Ravens. Call somebody in Pittsburgh. Oh shit, man! I'm sorry, we can't talk because you got a losing football team. I will say that, and they will laugh, and we will have that. Will roll into the conversation. I didn't even tell them about the job. I'll bring up that Pittsburgh sucks, or whatever. Or if I'm in South Carolina, you're a Gamecock. Who would name their team that? Roll Tide. And they laugh, right? Like it's making that connection with them somehow, some way. Outside of
you ever send an email? I've never done this, but it'd be funny to send if you're going after New York, especially in your space. Just say the email would just be, sorry, you're a Jets fan. And then I bet you'll get an awesome response in that, actually. I've never done that.
I'll try.
I'm going to try it too, but I've never done it.
I know you can't afford to buy a house where you are. I have opportunities in rural areas where you can afford a house, raise a family, and not have to live in a cardboard box in your city. We sent that email out. We didn't get a lot of response from it because it was our first time trying it, but I'll fix it because it wasn't as funny as us talking about it now. And now I want to change it to that.
But even better, you should try do it as a video. Like I love doing a video email now. Do like a Loom and you send the Loom.
Will you send me one of your videos?
Yeah,
I would like to see that because do you embed it so when they open it, it pops up, or they have to click a link?
Yeah, I do. I try to do the GIF, so the GIF image, so it's like a little movie to it.
So Animal brought that up that it's better to bring up where they click on the email and you're right there talking like, "Hi, Jets suck," right? Versus click this link to tell you about the Jets.
Yeah, it would be pretty funny. I'll have to try that Jets thing for next time I have a New York role. That's pretty funny though. And Animal. That's what it comes down to. That's what Rich the too long don't read is. Yes, it's a mindset, but it's also a skill. Listen, you know what it all comes down to? It all comes down to putting yourself out there and all these things. Like doing these podcasts. You're going to get people disagree with us. Who cares? And that's you got to realize, at the end of the day is nothing really matters. Like I was talking to a buddy of mine, another guy in Pinnacle this morning, and I'm like, he's an amazing recruiter. Unbelievable organization. Is a big firm. He worries about everything but money. He can't spend money fast enough. Where I could care less, he just wants to please everyone. Where I don't really care if I please everyone. I'm going to do a good job for my clients and my candidates, and I worry about the money. But yet
maybe one day you'll give us profiles of how there's contrasting personalities in the Pinnacle Club, the super recruiters, how they're both making money, A and B, and they're vanilla and chocolate and apples and oranges.
I don't die tomorrow. That's how I look at money. It's something I have in case I don't die tomorrow.
Well, that's it. But unfortunately, you know what? It's just like you. I mean, this is why I'm excited to get south, because life is so much cheaper. Life in New England is so expensive. It's like, and then you got college, you got this, you got that. So it's
okay. But one thing, no, just let me say. So I disagree with what you guys say. I think it is mindset, and I think it's personality. If you want to add to mindset, personality. You guys have personalities. You come up with little social. How am I? I'm going to a dinner party. How am I going to be sociable? But that's your personality as well. It's not saying I can't do it. I know I can't do it. Okay.
I bet you could. I bet you you're better.
No matter how good you are, if someone says to you, "I'm happy where I'm at," you know how funny you are. If you can't overcome that objection with, "I didn't call you because I thought you were unhappy. I called you because I have a better opportunity in your backyard. It's going to put more money in your pocket and reduce your commute and make you like bounce."
I want to take up the second half of that question with the skills with handling objections next week. In the meantime, super show. I really enjoyed it, especially the last 5 minutes. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Always a pleasure, Adam. Always a pleasure.
Good luck with everything.
I will.
See you later.
Bye-bye. See you guys. Ciao. Bye.